Still on the results of 2020, 616,000 full-time candidates sat for that exam. However, the total number of candidates was over 1 million as the department combined the June and November exams. To react to the 2020 Matric results, we're now also joined by the Secretary General of the Congress of South African Students, Tebogo Magafana. Tebogo, good evening and thank you for your time tonight. As the Congress of Students, of course, some of the learners who would have sat for this exam are your members. Tell us about what it has taken for them to be able to get here today.
Thank you very much, and also want to thank you for hosting us as Congress of South African Students. What we can say as the movement is that we are happy and we are proud of class of 2020 because they've managed to fight the fight, and we know that we had problems of COVID were from abnormal situation. So we need to give class of 2020 a round of applause.
One of the things that the minister was speaking about upon the release of these results is where there have been great results, there have also been little interruption of schooling in those areas. As COSAS, let's just talk about some of the protests that you plan from time to time. How many protests would you say you had in 2020 that included the shutting down of schools?
Look, I can't count. And we are not disrupting schools. The old lady must not mislead the society. We were not satisfied how she ran the Department of Education. We've been trying to engage with her, but as we know, all of us, that she's old and arrogant. So she must blame her office, not us, because you can't go to school without PPEs. And we made it clear to her that we rather save lives than academic calendar. We're not disrupting. We're just raising our concern as young people.
Sure, but when we now then sit and look at the results and we hear the education department saying that the provinces where they had the least disruptions are also provinces which have performed well and districts which have performed well, what does that tell you as COSAS? Does it inform the way you're going to be doing things in the future?
Look, what I can tell, remember, the department will say whatever they want to say without others. So what I can tell you is that now we need to focus on a positive mood. How young people they've worked, we need to celebrate. Even those who failed, we must appreciate them. And what we are saying as Congress of South African Students, they must go back to the system. They must be enrolled in the class of 2021.
Yes, but what I'm asking you is, are you going to be making sure that should you need to protest for whatever reason in, let's say, the year 2021, that protest will not mean that there will be some learners who are not in school, not learning as a result of the protest that you might call?
Look, remember, we are representing students. When we protest, we don't protect for ourselves. We're protecting on behalf of those learners, and they must come to raise their consent. And I can't confirm with you what you are asking here.
But what about putting their education first? Because if there's a direct link, at least coming from the department, about the level of disruption to schooling and the kind of outcomes that learners are able to produce at the end of the year, isn't that counterproductive in some sense?
Look, no one is disrupting schools. Me and Musweli, that the problem, not us. We've been trying to engage with them. They don't listen to anybody. They are arrogant. So, and what you must know about us, we don't just disrupt, and we are not disrupting schools. We are raising our concern. We interact with structures. You can ask Satu, you can ask how we interact with structures before anything. Even principals, they know. But the problem is that department want to shift blame. to us saying that we're disrupting. We're not disrupting. How can you go to school without a PPE? Then you find classes, schools having mud toilets. What must we do? We must say, no, we are happy, and the minister continue with your work and continue with what we are doing. What about our lives? Remember, and the sad part about this thing, most of ministers, they are kids, they are part of IEB. They don't feel the pain that those young girls and boys they go through. You see, and we must not be shy. Our minister and colleagues, they don't care about us as young people in the society. So we're not disrupting. She's the one who's disrupting our schools because of she's arrogant.
All right, Secretary General of the Congress of South African Students, Tebogo Magafana, we're going to leave it there for tonight.